This presentation will demonstrate the location of the trunk muscles. So to start off with, let's look at some of the abdominal muscles. The rectus abdominis, internal and external oblique, and transverse abdominis are the four muscles of the abdomen. Rectus means straight, and so as you can see, the straight muscle here is the rectus abdominis. And you see there are little fibers here. When this is well toned, this is what gives a person their six-pack. To the side we see the external obliques, and then over on this side we see the internal obliques. So the most external or most superficial muscle that we have in the abdomen are the external obliques. And you notice that the fibers are running from the ribs down toward the pubic symphysis. So that's the direction of the external obliques. The internal obliques actually run in the opposite direction. They're going to run from the middle here down towards the hip. So remember that oblique means at an angle. And you notice that they had to cut away the external obliques for you to be able to see the internal obliques. Now deep to that even is the transverse abdominis, and you notice that these fibers are going across the abdomen. So it's like they're going from the belly button around to the back. So we have four different directions. We have straight up and down, straight across, this angle, and this angle. So we have four muscles of the abdomen going in all four directions. In the chest area, we have pectoralis major and pectoralis minor. So major means the larger muscle, and there are fibers that start on the clavicle and the sternum, and they all narrow down to one tendon that is going to be attaching on the humerus. So this is the largest superficial muscle here. And one of the reasons why the chest area is called the pectoral region. Now this is the pectoralis major, and so if we cut that away, we can see these fibers of the pectoralis minor. And so you notice that there are actually several fibers here connecting to these ribs, and then all connecting to the scapula. Then the next one is the serratus anterior. And serratus means serrated, like a bread knife, a serrated blade. And so these muscles here are the serratus anterior, and you see it kind of looks like that bread knife. But if I look over here, I also see the serratus anterior. But on this side, it really doesn't look like the serrated blade. And that's because that external oblique has been cut away. So when we see the external oblique interacting with the serratus anterior, it gives us that appearance. All right, a little bit deeper, we have the external intercostals, internal intercostals, and the diaphragm. The external intercostals and the diaphragm are primary muscles of inspiration. So when you take a deep breath in, these muscles are contracting. And the external intercostals, when they contract, they're going to pull the ribs away, and that's going to increase the size of the thoracic cavity. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle. It actually goes kind of in this orientation right here. And when it contracts, it flattens out. And so that also enlarges the thoracic cavity. And those two working together kind of make a vacuum, and then air is sucked into the thoracic cage or into the lungs. Now the internal intercostals, we can see these a little bit deeper than the external. So the internal intercostals, when they contract, they're actually going to make the rib cage smaller. So when you have to take a deep breath, or you let all of the air out of your chest, and you keep breathing out, out, out like you're going to blow up a balloon, then you're going to be using and contracting these internal intercostals. And remember that the word intercostal would mean between the ribs. On the posterior side of the body, we have some large muscles. We have the trapezius muscle that actually starts way up here on the occiput, goes down towards the shoulder, and also has fibers all the way down into the lumbar spine. So a huge muscle here. And they have cut it away on this side so we can see some of the deeper muscles. Another large muscle is the latissimus dorsi. And so here's the latissimus dorsi right here, and then the other one on this side. And if you've ever done an exercise at the gym, maybe called a lat pull down, well, why is it that you use the arms to strengthen the back muscle? And that's because all of these fibers are going to converge and they're going to attach on the humerus on the arm here. So you pull down the arm to strengthen this muscle. And the third one here is the deltoid. And this covers the shoulder. Deltoid actually means triangle. And so you can see it's going to actually go all the way around in the front as well, on the clavicle and scapula, and then attach at that deltoid tuberosity of the humerus. And when it contracts, it pulls the arm up or abducts the arm. Here we can see a little bit deeper muscles here. So the rhomboids, we actually have rhomboid major and rhomboid minor, but you can just call them the rhomboids. And you notice that they attach the medial border of the scapula over to the spine. And so when you squeeze the shoulder blades together, you are contracting your rhomboids. Deeper to that, we have and we would be able to see it even better if the latissimus dorsi was cut away. But going all the way up to the skull and all the way down to the sacrum, you're going to have these erector spinae muscles. And that word just means that they keep the spine erect. So these are important for your postural muscles.